is from Tyler, Texas, and she writes and performs personal stories in her own signature style. She relates the interactions with her inner and outer world. I love that. She's a member of the Dallas Storytelling Guild and works with horses at a therapeutic writing program. And she comes with a family with 2 sets of twins. That's not something you come across every day. So please welcome to the stage, Hayley Turner.
Good morning. Last fall, I attended an East Texas Symphony Orchestra concert. My former clarinet professor, Sharon Dewey, well, she'll always be Mrs. Dewey to me, was the featured soloist that night. She is my absolute favorite clarinetist to listen to. She has the most distinct, beautiful sound that's always executed with such gracefulness. It had been a while since I interacted with classical music, and as soon as I heard the first notes, a piece of my soul awakened. It felt like my brain was receiving a full body massage. As I was listening, I began thinking about all of the things that I learned while studying with Mrs. Dewey as a musician, an artist, and sentient being. It made me realize that studying music was where I first acquired my stage presence, which is something I still carry with me today as a storyteller. I love being able to still maintain connections with a teacher who is so active in the performing arts community. It's something truly special to see someone who taught you shine in the greatness of what they do. I played clarinet for 15 years, starting in 6th grade, all the way through college and a few years after that. When I began playing as an 11-year-old, I was so tiny that my fingers couldn't even cover the holes of the way, so I would have to just jam them in just to get the notes to come out properly. And of course, we couldn't afford to buy a new clarinet, so my dad went out and found me one at a pawn shop, and some of the pads were worn down, which prevented the low notes from coming out. So one day in band, our director had everyone go down the line and play the lowest note. And of course, when he got to me, the note wouldn't come out. And everyone just laughed at me and thought I sucked at playing. But as soon as I got my clarinet fixed, I was the best one in class. I began studying with Miss Dewey when I attended Richland College in Dallas. I had gotten to be a pretty good player. I always made the top bands, could play the most challenging music, but I wasn't good because I knew what I was doing. I really struggled. I didn't have full confidence in how to actually read music or any of the basic fundamentals. I just learned how to adapt quickly in whatever way worked for me, and that's just what I ended up doing. I worked twice as hard to compensate, and no one ever questioned it because I always sounded good and could keep up with the parts, until I met Mrs. Dewey. She immediately confronted the issues and took the time to help me relearn how to play, how to hold the clarinet, read music, count rhythms, and breathe in just everything that I was supposed to learning for the first time in college. And she even took it a step further by introducing me to musicianship. And that right there is what I'm most grateful for. She showed me what it meant to play with emotional expression, to feel what I was playing, to truly understand what it meant to be a musician with an instrument. As someone who spent my entire life being reserved and rigid, this opened up a piece of me that so desperately needed an outlet. I began to feel confident as a player and even took it a step further by challenging myself to perform in solo recitals on stage in front of an audience, which is something that I never had the guts to do before. And every time I think about that, it's like there's a piece of that with me here telling on stage. And it's a really beautiful moment to just kind of reflect on that while I'm here and thinking about it. And it's funny, even as I'm here now, I'm thinking of when I used to play recitals on stage, and I know I'm talking, but I'm worried that I'm gonna squeak on the clarinet. It's really funny. After the concert, my husband and I went down to the stage to say hi to Mrs. Doobie and congratulate her on her performance. She excitedly brought us backstage and showed us her green room, and we exchanged stories as we caught up on each other's lives. I've so loved getting to reconnect with her at this current state of my life because I feel like I learn something new and fascinating from her every time we speak. It's so important to continue maintaining connections with the things, people, and experiences that teach us and help us to grow. Anytime we experience something, we get to do it for a little bit and then we sort of cycle back later in life. But these experiences really shape us and kind of carry us through everything that we do in life. And I can't get up on stage and tell a story and not think of all those things and all those people. They're always here with me on stage because they've shaped the stories that I'm telling today. So let this be my message, my affirmation to anyone who is a storyteller, who's a teacher, mentor, wisdom presenter, performer. Know that what you do matters for the rest of a person's life. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, anyone who is a student, a beginner, learning a skill for the first time, being eager to try something new. Know the value and what you're doing, the work that you're putting through, just listening. It has so much value. And even just being an audience member for this purpose. So if we're all just here to offer support in people's dreams, hobbies, or passions, keep on shining in the greatness of what you do. Thank you.